Hello, I'm Dr. Annette Hamel, and I'll be your instructor for this online section of interpersonal communication. The purpose of this video is to introduce myself, let you hear my voice, and to give you an overview of how this course is going to work. Even if you've taken online courses before, I encourage you to watch this video from start to finish, as I'll be giving you some information that is specific to this course. In the next few minutes, I'll go over the course content, the building blocks and components that will make up our course. I'll talk a bit about my course policies and procedures, and I'll give you an overview of what sections of the e-learning site we will be using the most. Before we go any further, I'd like to debunk some misconceptions that students sometimes have about online courses. The first one is sometimes students expect online courses to be easier, and they're not. They can actually be even more challenging than face-to-face classes. When I teach classroom sections of this course, we go over the same material that we do in the online section, but you won't have the discipline of going to a classroom on a regular schedule, so you'll need to budget your own time for the course. Also keep in mind that a summer course is the same amount of material that you would normally get in a 15-week semester compressed down into half the time. So we're basically doing 2 weeks worth of material in 1 week in a summer term. So the schedule is pretty heavy and moves rapidly. The second misconception, students sometimes think that an online course will take them less time than a face-to-face course. This is also not the case. When you consider that in the face-to-face section, you'd be in the classroom 2 to 3 hours a week, and then you would be spending time outside of that doing readings, preparing for quizzes, and doing assignments. You should budget at least that amount of time for working on your online course. The benefit is that you get to choose when that time is, and you can work at home in your pajamas in the wee hours of the morning, but you still need to budget and devote the time to the course. And the third misconception is that sometimes students think online courses mean you can work at your own pace, and that is not the case in this course. This course will have weekly assignments and deadlines that we'll talk about in a moment. So for COM 1700, you can expect to have weekly readings in our textbook, which I'll talk about in just a moment. You can expect to have weekly assignments, which will usually be taking quizzes over the chapter material and an occasional reflection paper. And we have weekly due dates, and these due dates are on Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Let's talk about our textbook. Our textbook is an ebook, so you'll be able to purchase it right now from where you're sitting and get to work on it right away. I've given you the link here, and the link also appears in the syllabus. If you download the syllabus, you should be able to just click on the link and go right to the Kendall Hunt website. Kendall Hunt is the publisher, and you can purchase the textbook directly from them. You will need the textbook for successful completion of this course, especially since we're online. The textbook gives you a set of tangible material that you can focus on and something that you can have in your possession to work from, and it ensures that we're all working from the same material. I've shown you what the cover of the textbook looks like here. You'll see that same picture on the site when you click on the link. Yes, I am the author of this book, so I know it very well and know what the content is. We've worked very hard on this ebook to add features that will help students learn. One of those is what we call hoverovers. If you hover your cursor over a word in the chapter, a definition will pop up. So for all of the terminology and vocabulary words in the chapter, those definition boxes will pop up when you hover your cursor over them. At the end of each chapter, you will find flashcards that are useful for studying because you can use them to quiz yourself. At the beginning and end of each chapter, there's a list of chapter objectives. So you can use those as study guides. There's a list that says at the end of this chapter, you should know these things. So you can test yourself against that and see if you do know those things and are therefore prepared to take a quiz or exam. And there are a number of homework exercises at the end of each chapter. We're not going to be using those this semester for grading purposes, so they are optional for you. But if you would like to do them, they might help you to, again, evaluate your own understanding of the chapter. Okay, but the assignments that you'll be doing to be graded in this course are the ones on the e-learning site. You'll want to sign on to the e-learning site every week. Click on the content menu and look at the module list. See what module we're doing that week, click on that module and look at what's inside of it. It'll have your readings and assignments for that week, so look over all the contents and make a judgment as to how much time you think it's going to take. Even if you're not going to start working on it right then, it will allow you to envision the amount of work you'll have in the days ahead and to complete things by that Saturday night due date. There are 3 items on the e-learning menu that we'll be using the most, and I did a little screenshot of my e-learning menu and have indicated them with arrows here. The first is the content menu. That's where you'll find your module list. So you'll be using that a lot to find the weekly assignments and readings. Under the communications menu, if you click on discussions, I do have a discussion board set up for our section, but it's optional. It's a place where you can chat with your classmates if you would like, but we're not going to do graded discussion boards this semester. Under the assessments menu, you will find quizzes, exams, and drop boxes. So each week you'll go to assessments to take your quizzes, and when you are going to be turning in a reflection, you'll also go to assessments to access the drop boxes. So those are the 3 items on the e-learning menu that we'll be using most often, and I encourage you to click on each of those menus and see what's contained there. Here's the schedule page of the syllabus, and when you download the syllabus at home, I encourage you to print off a couple copies of this and maybe put one in your planner or pin it up above your computer so that you can keep track of what's due and when. You'll notice that each module ends on a particular day, and there are assignments that you need to do for each module. And going week by week, you can see we're doing 2 chapters and 2 quizzes in general each week. Week 3, you'll have your first exam, which is over chapters 1 through 4. You'll need to move right on with chapter 5, reading that and taking the quiz, and completing reflection 2. Those reflections are short written assignments that are uploaded to the Dropbox, and I'll give you specific instructions inside the module. You can see going on from there, generally each week you're doing 2 chapters and 2 quizzes. The second exam occurs in week 5. So now you're ready to begin the course. Look around the site, examine everything in the Start Here module, then go to module 1, start reading the book, take the quizzes, complete reflection 1, and contact me if you have any questions. Email is always the best way to get a hold of me. I'm on and off email all day long for the most part. I do ask for 24 business hours to answer an email, but I'll usually get back to you quicker than that. I'm glad you're here. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I think we're going to have a good time this semester. So good luck, and I'll talk to you soon.